All right, good morning. This is Jason, and I've got Laura with me, who's one of our product managers here. And we are going to take folks through some new features that we recently released, some that we've actually been working on for quite a while and that we're pretty excited about. So we will take you through both of those, talk about how they work, but we will get started with some things that we've done recently. Just a quick recap for anyone that hasn't been in any of our recent presentations. We'll give you a quick rundown on what these features are. Just want to mention also that we will be fielding questions at the end. So there's a questions section on the bottom right-hand corner of GoToWebinar that will allow you to post questions. We'll answer them in the order they come in. So if you have any questions about Mindflash in general or the specific features we're talking about, please just let us know, and we can hit those up before we close out today. So let's go ahead and get started, and we can start talking through what we've done recently. Just a quick recap, won't take too long on this, but some of the things we've been working on. We have a new course player and a dashboard on the trainee side, which everyone is now up and running on. So if you're a longtime Mindflash customer, you'll see that that looks slightly differently. This is part of our move to support mobile on all devices. It's been a long project as we switched the dashboard over to HTML, but everyone's now running on that, and you'll see as we get through our presentation today that we are very close to complete mobile support. Related to that, we now support all tablets. So that was released this last session, so in early February. So regardless of what type of device you're training on, you can access it on a tablet. We still have our iPad app, so people can install that if they'd like to, but it will also work within the browser on a tablet. Customer training, this has been a big effort as well. There are a lot of components of this. Historically, we've really supported internal training for sales teams, product teams, onboarding of new employees, that sort of stuff. We've focused on that and supported that pretty well. But we've recently been branching out due to requests from customers to help them train their customers. So aspects of this that you'll see are custom domain, course catalog. There's some the ability to turn off any Mindflash branding and effectively white label the product. A bunch of different options there that allow you to really make it your own product and present it to your trainees. We also have a single sign-on option if you're integrating it with another piece of software and an API that will let you do a lot of things in an automated fashion. So all of that is available on the Pro tier. As well as the course catalog, as I mentioned, that's available on the Advanced and the Pro, but that's a feature that's often requested by folks that are doing customer training. Focus Assist, this is something that we released several months ago, but this allows the ability to guarantee that people are viewing your content. So what it does is it monitors the engagement of the people that are taking your courses and can detect when they're not paying attention to the content, and will remind them that they need to pay attention to the content. It effectively will pause the content if they're not engaged with it. We have some good things that are coming up in the Focus Assist world that I'll talk about at the end of the presentation here, but it's something that we're very excited about and I believe is unique in the e-learning space. So definitely something you'd want to check out. And then advanced permissions. This has been out for a little while, but this is a very highly requested feature, so we like to remind folks that it is out there if they're not using it. It's available on our Pro tier. But this allows people with elevated access, so people who are not trainees, it allows you to give different levels of permission to those folks. So we have a manager role, which can enroll people in courses, run reports, create new trainees. We have a trainer role that can do everything that the manager can do, as well as build courses and create content. And then we have an admin role that has all those abilities and can also manage the account, the branding on the account, the credit card, that sort of stuff. I should also mention on the manager roles, the trainees that they can see can be restricted to specific groups. So if you have a manager of a facility or even a customer that you want to just see their trainees, the people that are at their company, then you could restrict their role to just viewing that group, and that way in the reports and in Mindflash in general, they would just see those people. Okay, so those are some of the things we've done. As most of you know, we release new features and enhancements every month, so we do this webinar on a monthly basis. But these are some of the big heavy-hitting things that we've done recently. We're always tuning everything up, and you'll see that as you use the product. Things get slightly better every month, and we release a lot of new exciting features. Most of that is driven based on feedback from our customers. That weighs very heavily in what we develop, so please, we're always interested in your feedback. There's feedback opportunities in the product, but also feel free to email us, talk to your customer success manager, and let them know what you want. And when we get enough consensus amongst folks and we can figure out exactly what the perfect feature is, then we will build that and release it. So please let us know. All right, so we're going to get into support for Captivate and Storyline, which Laura is going to talk about here and take you through a demo of how all of that works.
Hi, everyone. As Jason said, we're going to talk about Captivate and Storyline products and how we support them in Mindflash now. We just released these, and the reason we decided that this was a good thing to do was because we've had a lot of feedback from you guys. So we have a lot of customers who are already using content created in Captivate or Articulate Storyline, and so now you can use that in Mindflash. We've also made it so that you can use those file types on mobile devices, which you probably haven't seen very much of because it doesn't exist in many places, but we are able to support both of these file types in the iPad as well as other tablets. So we've also heard from people that they have these Captivate and Articulate file types, Storyline specifically, that they want to be able to mix and match other content with. So in Mindflash, you can, and we'll see this in our demo, but you can put in a PowerPoint and then follow it by an Articulate file, then follow it by a Mindflash survey. So there's the ability to do that and not just have to only use that one Captivate or Storyline file that you have. So you can integrate with the other offerings that Mindflash has to offer. And lastly, we have a lot of requests for training that's more interactive. And both Captivate and Storyline offer that ability. They have click interactions that you can build. They have branching, so depending on what you answer or click on, you might go to a different slide than if you were to click on something else. There's also screen capture, so you can follow along. But both of these file types will allow you to build very interactive courses, and that's a huge thing that people are looking for. So other things that Captivate and Storyline have that you may not have been able to use before. One big thing is that once you make one of these files, you can use it anywhere, whether it be on Mindflash or a different platform or a standalone file. So you put in all the time and effort in making these files, but it's not that you can only use it on one system. You can probably use it on many different systems as well as standalone. It will convert your PowerPoint. Mindflash obviously already does that, but you can also do it in both Articulate, Storyline, and Captivate. As I said before, you can do screen capturing, so the ability to record actions you take on a screen, taking trainees through a step-by-step process. If it's very detailed, this is often a good feature to incorporate. Both of these file types have quizzes as well as quiz banks. So there's a variety of question types that Captivate and Storyline offer. One of which we'll see in the demo, but along with the Mindflash quiz types, you can now make use of these various other quiz types as well. And Table of contents. Some people need very in-depth table of contents and want them to say very specific things and be very lay out in a very intense requirement-y kind of way, and you have that ability in both of these products. So something I just touched on before, but branching. You can branch content based on trainee decisions or based on their answers. So that gives you more flexibility in what people are seeing. There's some navigational options, so you can create like closed book quizzes where they can't leave the quiz to view previous information. And then avatars, especially in Storyline, they have this huge library of like pre-made cartoon characters, but they're avatars that can like lead you through the content, and they become a virtual trainer in the presentation. And a lot of people really like that, kind of having that virtual avatar there in the presentation, walking their trainees through the information. So as you can see, there's lots of functionality that both of these tools have, and what we've seen is that people are using it when they're training on software that's very in-depth, as well as even people who are training on hardware or trying to explain how a circuit board works. They can have screenshots of the content and then very click points so you can find out what the different areas of the circuit board is, or let's say a car engine. So it's used in a lot of different ways and for a lot of different communities and businesses. So let's take a look at a sample course. This course has a few different content types in it. We've mixed content that we've just imported straight into Mindflash, as well as the Captivate and Storyline files. We haven't created anything super fancy when it comes to what Captivate and Articulate are capable of, but if you visit their websites, you can see examples of the very nice content that you can create on both of those programs.
While Laura's switching over to the demo, I just wanted to, one of the questions that came in is whether or not we're supporting Quizmaker. We are not supporting Quizmaker. We're specifically supporting Articulate Storyline. We do support quiz questions created in Storyline, but not the Quizmaker product specifically. They have several different products. And then for Captivate, that's a product by Adobe. So both of these are standalone pieces of software that you would buy, installed software that you buy outside of Mindflash that you could use to help create content. We obviously still support all of our normal PowerPoint PowerPoint conversion, Word, PDF, video, etc. It's just another type of content that you can build on Mindflash.
Great. So we've created a course already, and let's go into it and just take a look at a few different changes that you'll see here. One is you can upload your SCORM from either the Manage or the Arrange tab. The Storyline and our Captivate files need to be published with SCORM 1.2, and that's just a standard that allows us to track and the progress of the files as well as report on the scores. And that will send that information back to Mindflash and put it into the reports, which we'll take a look at. So when we say SCORM, we're just saying you need to make sure that your Captivate and Storyline files are SCORM enabled and have that tracking on them. So here we are in the Arrange tab, and you'll see there's a new color. It's brown. That's for both the Captivate and the Storyline file types. You can insert them just as you would any other type of file, and we are calling it SCORM in here. Click that and just upload the zip file that you've published from those two products, and it will just upload just like anything else. So this course has a video that we've uploaded, then we have an Articulate Storyline file followed by a Captivate file, and then we have a Mindflash survey. One thing to note is any quizzes you put into these file types, so Articulate and Captivate, the scores will be tracked and sent back to Mindflash, and we will have a record of them. We don't know what the trainee answered, but we will have their overall score. If you want to incorporate surveys, we recommend that you do that through Mindflash, simply because we will not be able to get that survey data from the Articulate or the Captivate file. And so using the Mindflash survey is the way to go in that regard. So I have invited this, or invited someone to this course, so we can go and look at what that looks like. And Articulate and Captivate example, and we're going to click through and just take a brief look at that. I loaded this and now it's not wanting to load. There we go. Okay, so we have the Articulate file, and this is what Articulate produces. This is a player that it will make for you. I've imported some PowerPoint files, as you can see. It's auto-playing for me. I could make it so that it didn't auto-play and I could just use these paddles. It's really, all those settings are inside Storyline, and you will be able to set it up exactly how you want. And then we get to a quiz. So this is a matching quiz in Storyline, and we'll just go ahead and answer it. So you can see drag and drop, how it works, and we'll submit that. Got that right. Now, since I've completed it, it will let me go forward in the course. Before, this paddle wasn't there because I hadn't completed it. So I'll click Next, and the next file type we'll find is the Captivate file type. You'll see that the player is different here. Again, this is something you can set up inside Captivate. And it's, again, we've imported a PowerPoint slide, PowerPoint presentation, and I can just click through and the animation will play as I have set it up in PowerPoint and then imported it here. We'll get to the end and we'll have another quiz. It's the same type of quiz. It's actually a matching type of quiz, but you'll see that the interface of how it looks is different. So we'll make these match. Oh, I did it wrong. Okay, and we'll submit that. And it says correct, submit. And then, again, I've gotten a score. I get feedback. All of this is customizable in Captivate. So if you don't like how it looks, you know, you can change the fonts. You can change the button color. Like, virtually most things are customizable there, and you can set various settings. So we've completed this packet of content, and we're moving on. Like I said, if you create a survey, you'll want to do it in Mindflash so that you make sure you get the data back. And we'll submit that. And we'll move forward. And we'll get our score. So the scores from both of those files were sent to us, and I got 100% on both, and I'm done, and I got a certificate. If we go back to the trainer side, and we go to the Track tab, what we'll see is that that data is here as well. So that was me taking it right then, and I got 100%. Some differences to note, if this was a Mindflash quiz, this would be a link, and you could see what the trainee actually answered. Because it's a SCORM quiz, you won't be able to see that. You can see the score that's reported back, but you can't see the actual individual answers. This date information is also going to be in your advanced reports, and again, what you'll see is the score, but not individual answers. So keep that in mind. So that's what we're going to show you on that. The support for these files is for the Pro tier. So if you're on the Pro tier, feel free to try it out. It's live and ready to be tested by you. And one thing to mention is that both of these file types are very powerful, but they're also very complicated, and so there's lots and lots of settings inside these programs, some of which will make them unusable in Mindflash. And so what we've done is we've created a lot of help documents in our help center, which is help.mindflash.com. So depending on what kind of file you're using, you can either search by SCORM, or if you're using Articulate, search by that. If you're using Captivate, search by that. And you'll get in-depth instructions on how to make sure that your file is published correctly so that it will work in Mindflash the first time. There are images that will go along with that. We can take a look at this, but that just point out how to make the size right, how to make the settings right so that the scores get passed to Mindflash and people don't get stuck in the middle of the course, and things of that nature. So please please take a look at the help documents when you're using these files, just to make sure that you have the best success. And with that, I think we will move on to talking about Shopify.
Great. Thanks, Laura. Just a couple of things I wanted to highlight that Laura mentioned, but to make sure that we called out. One is that it was no small feat to make this work on mobile devices, which we're committed to doing with as much of the content out there as possible. So that was a big effort and is definitely a huge benefit. So if you've been looking to use this sort of content on a mobile device, then we are a great solution for doing that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that both the Captivate and the Camtasia are a piece of content, so you can add other pieces of content, whether it's a PowerPoint, quizzes, surveys, PDFs, or whatever to your course. It doesn't have to be your entire course, and that's different than how a lot of people handle this as well. So that's another thing that's a huge benefit of using Mindflash with these types of files. So really cool, and the team worked really hard on this, and thanks to all the folks that participated in our research around this to make sure that we got as close to what everyone was looking for as possible. Okay, so I'm going to talk real quickly about our Shopify integration. Shopify is a shopping cart tool or software that you can use. You can build websites on Shopify. You can offer products. You can sell, shoes. You can sell courses. So we've integrated with them, and it allows you to sell courses on your website or wherever you are listing your Shopify shopping cart. So first problem we're trying to solve is people just want to sell courses. So whether it's as a continuing education or even customer training, we often see people want to sell courses doing that. That's now possible. And it's pretty easy to set up all of this. You just need a Shopify account and a Mindflash account, which we'll show you in the demo in a minute. I need to incorporate my courses I'm selling into my website or shopping cart. Again, that's very easy with Shopify. You can just pull the courses from Mindflash into your Shopify account and then list a price for them and start collecting payment. You can also sell other products alongside your Mindflash courses. So if you're selling books or pamphlets or whatever it may be, all of that can be sold through Shopify. And then the major issue that we're really solving for here is that people can buy courses in real time and get access to them, whether it's 2 in the morning your time or on a Sunday. They can do this all themselves. There are a lot of Mindflash customers out there who actually do sell their courses, and they're using PayPal to collect payment, or they have their own shopping cart or something like that, but then it's a manual process of going and making sure that person paid them and then putting them in a Mindflash course and inviting them, and who knows how much time elapses by the time that whole process happens. So this is a more or less real-time scenario that happens quite quickly, and people get right into those courses so they can start taking it whenever it's convenient for them. So what we'll do now is we'll hop into a quick demo of how all this works. Where we're going to start here is on the Mindflash side. If we can do that real quickly, we can show you, in order to do this, this is a pro level feature. So if you're on a pro account or you're interested in getting to sell courses, you'll need to be on a pro account. You can access this from the Manage Account page. There's a section for Shopify if you're on a pro account. Integrating your Shopify account with your Mindflash account is very easy. It literally just asks for the subdomain that Shopify presents you with. So very easy to do. If you go to Shopify.com, you can read about what their product is and their different offerings and sign up for an account there. They're relatively inexpensive. There's no additional charge from Mindflash to do this. So you will have to have a Shopify account, which you have to pay Shopify for, but there's no charge from Mindflash or anything like that in order to have the connection. So once the connection is established, which is just a couple clicks of buttons to make sure that all works, you can go in and see a list of all of your courses that are active courses, and that effectively makes it a course that could possibly be sold via Shopify. So here we see a list of the courses in this account that are active, in an active role, and you can choose which ones you want to send to Shopify. You can also set the price. So right now we're browsing the courses that are available. If Laura selects this course, she can put in a price. Say we want to sell it for $12. Selecting this and agreeing that this is the course you want to send over, this will send it to Shopify, and it will then be in your Shopify account as an account or a course that's now available for purchase. So if we hop over to Shopify, we can see the courses that are available in the shopping cart, or excuse me, in the product listing there. Shopify has a lot of functions and features. So we're not necessarily going to get into how they operate, but basically you can build your store, and you can build multiple catalogs of courses or products or whatever it may be, and then present those to folks that want to buy a course. So if you see here, this is just a quick catalog that's been put together. If we click on one of those courses, it gives us more information on the course. You can pass this information from Mindflash. You can also edit it within Shopify itself. So you can really build these pages and give the necessary information that you need about the course. We do provide a screenshot of the first slide of the course that then goes into Shopify and it can be visible by your people that are purchasing. But if they're browsing your course catalog, they go in and they purchase a course, they would go in and fill out the normal credit card information, confirm that, and do the whole checkout process. So very standard. You can also set up all of your credit card processing and everything through Shopify, so they can handle all that stuff for you. Your trainees would go in and purchase the course, and then they will receive an email with a link to that course. So if we've already signed up for this course, but if you go into or if the trainee goes into their email, they would receive a link to the course that's an invitation. They can go and click on that and then access the course in order to start taking it. So this happens just in about a minute. So basically they process their credit card. It then sends out the link to them via their email, and they can start taking the course. So a very quick process for them that allows them to access it really whenever they want to. So Laura's now signed up for this course. She's paid for it. She's been invited, and now she's into the course and can start taking it. On the Mindflash side, we can see that that person is now enrolled in the course, and we'll start reporting on them. So just like any trainee that had been invited to a course, they would be in your course reports, and you can go and start seeing how they're progressing through the course. Likewise, in Shopify, you have a complete record of that transaction, and you can go in and see who's purchased what, when they purchased it, and manage all of your purchases there. So, pretty straightforward. If any of you are using Shopify, they're huge. They've got tens of thousands of customers. You probably purchased through them, some product previously. But pretty standard shopping cart functionality. What we've been able to do is integrate with that and really make it a seamless process for people when they go and purchase. So if you are looking to sell courses, you're looking to sell them to your customers, or just maybe general continuing education credits, this is a great option for doing that, and should be a relatively easy process to set up. So I believe that is the bulk of the new stuff that we're going to talk about today. Certainly, if you have any questions, please send those in. We'll answer those in a second here. One thing I did want to cover, as we normally do, is a couple of the things that we're working on. While we don't necessarily have specific dates for these releases right now, I can tell you that these will be coming in the next couple of monthly webinars that we do. We're working hard on these features, and we're certainly excited about them. So just a quick preview of what's coming along. We're going to start supporting Unicode international characters in all of the text fields that we have in the product. So things like course titles, course descriptions, quizzes, quiz answers, all of those sorts of things. Those will be supporting international characters. So that will allow you to use Spanish, French, really any language that you're looking to do. You'll be able to enter into those boxes. I know that's a challenge for people that are training internationally and have foreign languages that they want to train in. They'll now be able to enter those into their questions and the various text boxes that we have. So we're excited about that. That's been a big request lately. Mobile phone support. We are effectively, things work on any mobile device at this point. We're still optimizing. The phone is the last frontier of that for us. We are very close to completing that, in which case we will be completely done with our mobile support, and we'll obviously continue to support that going forward. But it has been a long haul for us, as you can all imagine. But it's something that we're dedicated to doing and committed to rounding out very quickly. So we should be seeing that in the next month or so. And then lastly, you see here, I mentioned Focus Assist previously as a feature that we'd released that guarantees that people are watching the content as they're taking it. We're going to take that one step further, and we can actually not only assess whether or not individuals are watching the content, but on an aggregate level, we can tell you how engaged people are with your courses and with the actual content in the course. So what we'll be doing is presenting reporting back to our trainers saying, this course has an engagement score of X. And it tells you relative to your other courses and potentially other trainers and courses across Mindflash, how engaged your trainees are with your content. So this should be a really good indicator of not only the quality of your content, but how much retention you're getting or how much retention you can expect. So this is really exciting for us. As I mentioned before, Focus Assist is something that only exists in Mindflash. And we're very excited about. It works across all of the devices as well as in the browser. So anyone with a webcam would be able to use a course that has Focus Assist turned on. And you'll get really good data on your courses. So again, we've been doing this in phases as we do most of our products, but this is something that we're really excited about because this is really great feedback that's going to be coming to the trainers. Okay. So that's what's coming up. So look forward to future webinars. You'll certainly get the invitation as you normally do. And as with all of these, we'll send you the presentation as a link after the fact. So even if you can't attend, sign up, and we will send you information on, or send you the presentation so you can catch up with all the latest features and functions that are coming out. All right, so we are going to hop into questions here. I know we've got a bunch of questions, particularly around the Articulate and Captivate support. So Laura and I will just kind of fire through these. Please feel free to ask questions on anything related to Mindflash. It doesn't have to just be these two features. And we will address those before we take off today. So let's get started at the top here. Will you eventually support Articulate Presenter? So as it stands right now, we just support Storyline from Articulate. At the moment, we don't have any plans to support Presenter. This decision for us was primarily driven out of requests from customers. Storyline seems to be the primary product that Articulate is really developing on and pushing at the moment. If we get a lot of requests, we may support that in the future. But at the moment, there are not any plans to do that. But as I mentioned before, the requests from customers are really what we drive everything on. So, if there's a huge call for that, then certainly we could look at doing that in the future. Overall tracking of student results in Storyline quizzes. I suspect this is a question around what data is collected when someone completes a quiz in Storyline. I think Laura mentioned this when she was going through, but basically what we're able to get from a Storyline or Captivate file is the final score for that file, which if it had one quiz would be the score of that quiz. If it had multiple quizzes would be the score, according to the settings that you've set in the file. So one score would be presented to us. When you set up your course, you say what the passing score is for that, or for your course itself. So you don't get the detail of the individual questions, which is an important point. If you really need the detail on the questions, use Mindflash quizzes. That's your best bet. You can go in and see individual questions and what each person asked. The way we built this, it allows you to do that. If you just have a Captivate or Storyline file and people go through it, maybe it's a screen capture or something of the sort, and then you put a quiz right after it in your course, they would go seamlessly from those two files, and they would be able to take the quiz on Mindflash, and you'd be able to see all the answers. So if that is something that's of interest to you, that's how you would want to structure your course. Does it support SCORM 1.2 content even if generated outside of Storyline or Captivate? So our SCORM player is primarily built to support Captivate and Storyline content. There is a possibility that your content will work, though it's not guaranteed. You are welcome to upload the zip file and see if it works, but it's not guaranteed that it will work. The only two types of SCORM files that we're supporting that we guarantee will work at this point are Captivate and Storyline. And those are the two that, should there be any issues, we'll do the work on. It's unlikely your SCORM file will work, but you're certainly welcome to give it a shot. Is there no record of the quiz in the SCORM content, only the overall quiz results? Laura, we just talked about that a little bit, but you want to straighten that up?
Yeah, I mean, like Jason was saying, we don't get the record of the quiz questions. We just get that score. So it's the overall for that individual, and then we'll have, in some of the reports we'll get an average for the whole course and things of that nature. But when it comes to an individual, you will only get one score per Captivate or Storyline file that you upload. We don't have the ability to get more information on what happened in that quiz.
Question here on what tier the support for Captivate and Storyline are on. That is only available on the Pro tier. So you would need to be on the Pro tier to have access to that upload. So basically the difference in terms of functionality on the trainer side, if you are on advanced or basic tier, you don't have the ability to upload a zip file. There's no SCORM option when you go into the file upload. If you are on the Pro tier, you will currently see that if you go into upload a file. This was released at the very end of last week, so it's now available if you are on a Pro tier. So just go ahead and go in and do that. If you are interested in using this and are not on a Pro tier, you would need to upgrade. But you can easily do that by going to the Manage Account screen, and then you can just upgrade to the Pro tier there.
We have a question that says, when you say Mindflash can stand alone, can a program be made on it that incorporates PowerPoints, quizzes, etc., to use anywhere on other computers? So when I was talking about that, I was referring to Captivate and Storyline files. So inside those programs, you can incorporate PowerPoints and quizzes, and then you can take those files, and they can be standalone. But when it comes to actual Mindflash courses, we're not saying that you can create standalone Mindflash courses. So anything you upload into Mindflash, if you're uploading PowerPoints and making quizzes and uploading PDFs, there's not a way to export a Mindflash course and make that standalone. I was simply referring to the fact that Captivate and Storyline files can be used in Mindflash, but we've seen people use them as standalone files that they just send out to people and have them look at and take.
Do the courses in Shopify and the users that sign up for them use trainee slots on the Mindflash account? Yes, a trainee in Mindflash is a trainee. So for our really long-standing customers, we, in a previous version of the product, had the ability to purchase courses. Those people were not counted as trainees. That is not the case with this. They do count as trainees. The difference being that we don't charge you anything different for those trainees. Those trainees are just normal trainees on the system. Shopify is a means of collecting payment, and then once they're in the system, they're just a normal trainee. So they would occupy seats. And the Shopify is available, the integration is available on the Pro tier, so they would occupy one of your, say, 1,000 seats on that tier. You mentioned using avatars within the courses. Do you have an example of this?
So if you go to articulate.com and look at Storyline, and I will just show you what that looks like briefly, maybe. Doesn't seem to be working. Oh, there we go. They have a demo, and if you were to go through that demo, you would see what I was talking about. We don't have any courses that we've created that have these avatars, but please feel free, go to articulate.com and look at the Storyline product, and they will give you lots of examples of what their avatars look like, and all the different options you have with them. So that is probably the best way to get an overall view of what their avatars can do for your project.
Yeah, in general, if you need to know how either Captivate or Articulate work or what the features are, your best bet is to go and check out those products. Admittedly, we're not experts in those products. We support them so that you can use them to build your e-learning courses, but we are not great at the functions and features of those. So any specifics on how they work would be best directed to them. How does Focus Assist function? So Focus Assist, as I mentioned, is a means of ensuring engagement within the product, or at least that people are watching the content. Your trainees need to have a webcam, whether it be on a tablet or on their computer, their desktop or laptop that they're taking the course on. What it does is it ensures that they're looking at the course content when they're taking the course, and it will pause the content if they are not. So if they're watching a PowerPoint slide with audio over it or a video or something like that, it will pause the content. And in order to restart it, they would have to look back at the content, and it would allow them to restart. So if you think in the scenario of someone watching a video that's a couple of minutes long, rather than watch the video, they get up to get a glass of water, it would pause the content, and when they come back to their seat to sit down, it would allow them to pick up where they started off before. One thing that's important to note about Focus Assist and how we use this is we're not collecting any individual data. We're not taking pictures of anyone. It's just making sure that they're actually looking at the screen. We don't collect any specific data on trainees other than their scores in their courses and their progress in the course. So it's not a means of looking at them. We have no access to what they look like. You as a trainer have no access. It's just to make sure that they're actually looking at the content. Do you offer general training on use and implementation of Mindflash? So we have a program where we offer customer success managers. Each of our advanced and pro tier customers is assigned a customer success manager, and that customer success manager is a dedicated resource to you that you can use to help get your program off the ground or do a tune-up or a check-in or whatever the case may be. That person is your resource to really dial your program in. Our customer success managers have a lot of experience, whether as in that role in other organizations or with the product and in that role at Mindflash. They see a lot of programs, and they see what works and what doesn't work, and they can give and provide a lot of insight, not just during the launch process, but also how to improve your course retention or your course completion rate or whatever the questions you may have. These folks have the answers for you, so I would definitely encourage you, if you have not engaged with your customer success manager, if they've been reaching out to you, please do so. They know a lot, and they can definitely help you out. So that's available on our advanced and pro tiers. What's the difference between pro and advanced accounts in Mindflash? So we have several different tiers of our product. Our product is offered as 3 different feature tiers. Each of those tiers has different features. There are a variety of things that are available on those different tiers. The primary items that are differentiate the advanced and the pro tiers would include integrations like Shopify, support for SCORM. There's some additional features in advanced reports that are available on the pro tier. The customer training suite of features, which include custom domains, white labeling, that sort of stuff is available on the pro tier. Additionally, you can get more trainees. So if you have 1,000 trainees or greater than 500 trainees, you would select the pro tier. The best bet to see the details of what the differences are is to go to the website and our pricing page. We have a grid there that shows you exactly what features are available on each. The other alternative is if you just want to let us know, we would be more than happy to set up a time to kind of go through what those features are, or have you talk to one of our folks to figure out which is the best tier for you. Any plans to extend the SCORM feature to other tiers like advanced or the basic packages? It's very unlikely. At this point, we just have it on the pro tier, but in general, SCORM requires a lot of support. SCORM, I don't know if we've actually gone through the details of all of this, but SCORM is a means for a piece of content to talk to a learning management system. It's a protocol for the two to talk to each other. The unfortunate thing about SCORM is it's very, very loose. So it's possible that SCORM content will not work on all systems, and it requires a lot of support both for the content creation company as well as the learning management system company. So that's why it's on our higher tier. It's significantly more difficult for us to support, and it's unlikely that it will be available on our other tiers. I am a new employee and have not used Mindflash before. I need a general lesson on immediate use. Again, if you are on our advanced or our pro tier, we have customer success managers. We would be happy to set up a time to talk to you, and I will have one of our folks reach out to you and engage. I know the person who asked this question, so we'll reach out to you and figure out a time that works for you. Are there any plans to support other SCORM content? This is a tough question because I think that it is likely that we may in the future. At the moment, we don't have immediate plans for supporting additional SCORM content. These are the primary tools that are used to create SCORM content in the e-learning world, and we're probably just going to support them for the near term. But it's not to say that we won't in the future, and as always, you know, any requests that we have around any feature, we weigh heavily, and if we get a lot of those requests, then certainly we could head in that direction. Currently, are there any animation and font restrictions when playing PowerPoints in Mindflash? Are there any limitations to playing animation and fonts in a SCORM file?
So, good question, and that is something you're probably going to have to test out. It's going to really depend on Articulate and Captivate in and of themselves. So, you would have to upload it, import it, and see if they support it or not. We haven't tested every font and or animation inside Articulate, Storyline, or Captivate. We do know that in some cases Storyline doesn't support embedded fonts, so there are going to be some quirks. I know that, but what they are is not clear to us at this point. So depending on your files, it could work perfectly, or there could be issues. And I know Storyline, at least, and Captivate to a degree, have very good forums and help articles. So if you know that there's a specific PowerPoint animation, let's say, that you want to use and it doesn't seem to be working, or you haven't tested it out, you could go look on their forums, and there's probably an article on there about it, just because they are so in-depth. So hopefully that is helpful.
Just wanted to cover the first half of that question. Are there any animation or font restrictions when playing PowerPoints in Mindflash? Just want to clarify, if you upload your PowerPoint to Mindflash, we obviously have a PowerPoint conversion engine that I would argue is better than any other options out there on the market. So if you are literally just converting PowerPoint, your best bet is to upload the PowerPoint to Mindflash. It's going to be much more flexible in Mindflash, and you're going to get a better conversion of that PowerPoint. In terms of our support for this stuff, we support any animations that you can put on a slide. We do not support slide-to-slide animations, but any animation you put on a slide we should support. In terms of fonts, we will support any fonts that are in a Windows version of PowerPoint. So if you have a custom font or you're using a Mac version, there's some Mac fonts that aren't supported on Windows. It is possible to embed a font in your PowerPoint, and that will work on Mindflash. So if you have that specific need, contact either our support group, or which is just help@mindflash.com, or your CSM, and they can give you instructions on how to do that. It's not a very common request, but we do support that if that is a need for you. Will you update Mindflash quiz engine to include more robust question types? So we're definitely interested in knowing what sort of question types you're looking for. That's kind of a tough question to answer because I don't specifically know what question types you're looking for. But we are looking at our quiz engine. It is something that at some point here we will overhaul. We don't have it's not on the immediate schedule to do, but it's definitely on our radar. We have as you can imagine, everyone has a different perception of what quizzes should be and how they should function. So we are not going to put every feature in there. That's definitely not Mindflash's approach. We try to get the features that everyone really needs and put those in. So we are very interested in hearing what requests there are around quizzing and what is a necessary and what's a nice to have. That differentiation is really important for us. So if you want to let us know what you're interested in seeing, then certainly let us know. The good thing about the support for Captivate and Storyline is I think it opens us up to support of additional question and quiz features that we don't necessarily support and that we probably won't support, but that you could get access to by purchasing one of these pieces of software. So definitely something to look at. But as I mentioned, if you do have requests for specific things, then let us know and we can take a look at those.
Along with that, that same person said that image hotspots and matching were something they were looking for, both of which I do know are available in Captivate and Storyline. And there's also, that same person was asking about more robust reports when it comes to questions in Mindflash so knowing which questions are people are getting wrong a lot. And that is something that we're looking at as we explore quiz enhancements. So thank you for that feedback.
We already have that. If you actually go to the advanced reports and look for a course, there is a quiz report on a course, on the course tab, that shows you each of your quizzes. If you click on that quiz, it'll show you question by question what percentage of the trainees is getting the question right. So that is a great way to identify a bad question before everyone takes it. So I would definitely encourage you look at that. That, of course, is available in our advanced reports, which you would need to be on the advanced or the pro tier to gain access to. Do we support the Tin Can API? We do not. We don't have any immediate plans to support this. At this point, SCORM 1.2 is the way that we're going with the Captivate and the Storyline files. I hesitate to say we won't, but there are really no plans of supporting this. I think SCORM 1.2 is probably where we're going to be for a while. These standards are extremely loose and difficult to support, so supporting multiple of the standards is probably not too likely in the short term.
What Captivate settings are required to publish the zip file, Swift, HTML, etc.? You're going to want to do both. In the help documents, you'll see that there are the directions on how to publish, and it does include checking both Swift and HTML depending on what device you're on, what browser you're on, etc. To have both checked is going to be the best bet to have as many trainees not have issues with that content as possible. So again, please go to help.mindflash.com and look at the publishing tips there. That will make sure that you have success when your trainees are viewing the content.
Okay, I've read on the Mindflash site that an organization could create a custom URL and build their own content. We currently have an online help system generated by Adobe RoboHelp that we would like to consider uploading to a custom URL that only members of our organization could access. Is this possible? I don't think I understand that question entirely. I'll reach out to you offline and figure out what you're talking about and whether or not we can support it. I just don't know the answer to that right now. Sorry. Okay. It's difficult to pay attention. Okay, some critique of how we are presenting. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, so I believe that's all the questions that we have here today. Thanks for everyone's time in coming to the webinar and visiting each month. I know a lot of you come on a regular basis, and we definitely appreciate that. As I mentioned, we will send a transcript or the video of this presentation to everyone. So look for that in your email in the next day or so. And look for an invitation to next month's presentation when that comes up, most likely toward the beginning of April, I guess. So thanks again for everyone coming today, and we will reconvene next month for our next webinar. Thank you.